Hit him hard every time.
What's a face mask?
Dance face masks.
That's right, fellas. Our guys are back in the building. The start of off-season programs has begun, and this show has begun. We have Cleland Ferrell joining the show for Free Agency Fridays. Our guys will be breaking down guys in round 2 and 3 that maybe we can add to Washington, and then your favorite duo is just chilling, talking about the greatest, Sean Taylor. All that and more starts right now. Welcome, Commanders family, in the Command Center, presented by SeatGeek, the official primary ticketing partner of the Washington Commanders. Brian Colbert Jr. here with Santana Moss, Fred Smoot, Logan Paulsons, and the offseason program has begun. We are officially in draft month, and the fellas are in the building, as you just saw. Tanner, you was there back in your day at OTAs, man. Give us some of your memories of what it's like to be a veteran during OTAs.
I'm gonna be real with you. I dreaded coming in here because I just knew that my break was over. You know, it's go time. It's time to get back out there and start all over again. Go out here and on this mission as a team, trying to, accomplish that one goal. But I dreaded it until I got here. And once I got here, I knew it was go time.
And Fred, back in your day, you was a young fella.
Don't act like I'm that old.
I have off-season programs.
How old am I?
It was
I'm gonna tell you what I love to come and meet my new teammates. Yeah. And with it not being the football season, you actually get to spend time with them out the field. Not only do we get to work out, but now when we leave here, we get to go have lunch. We get to go have dinner. We get to go out to the Nationals game. We get to do stuff. This is when your team is actually built, because this is when you personally get to know your brother. Yeah. And there's nothing like getting to know him to fight for him when it comes August.
And it's not just the new players that you're getting to meet. You get to meet the new coaching staff as well, especially out here in Washington. Logan, how important is this time for not only the coaching staff, but these new players as well?
I mean, it's extremely critical, right? Because this is the time the coaches kind of say, this is what our offensive foundation is. These are the formations. This is the cadence. This is how we do things. This is our kind of our mode of operation. You walk around the building today and it says, this is what it means to be a Commanders now. And you kind of start establishing that culture. So in addition to kind of building these relationships with your team, it's also the coach's opportunity to say, this is who we are. This is who we want to be moving forward. This is day one of that, which is pretty exciting.
And Logan, it's interesting you mentioned relationships, because we brought in 2 veterans that you actually have experience and relationships with. Talk about that.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, man. Because like Zacchaeus, the receiver, he was a rookie when I was like my last year in the NFL. So it was crazy to see him kind of be a pro and come along and like work that skill set, and now he's in year 6. So I mean, it's just like time flies, you know what I'm saying? But he's an excellent football player, really excited he's gonna be part of the culture moving forward. And then McNichols is a guy that I played with in San Francisco, a guy that is always on the fringe of getting a lot of playing time, good in pass protection, good run the football, but never quite been that guy yet. But he's a good football player and glad to have him in the building.
And Tanner, a guy like Zacchaeus, he's just a season away from 500 plus yards. What can he add to this receiving corps? Because you talked about a lot how we need to add some depth to this receiving corps.
Veteran leadership. That's one of the things he said, year 6. You bring guys in here that knows how to go out here and be a pro. And I think it's vital, because I remember being on teams when you had young guys that was considered your, playmakers or superstars, but you didn't have enough older guys in the room. And we had a lot of old guys when I first got in. And when we needed to, depend on somebody, those old guys always showed us the way. So it's great to have that leadership in the house.
And fellas, we've brought in a ton of veteran leadership. And I actually got to hang out with one of our defensive ends, our new guy, Cleland Ferrell, who's coming in from the 49ers. I got to talk to him on Free Agency Fridays. Let's take a look at the clip. We're excited to have you, and somebody I know that's super excited, you were talking about it, is your grandmother.
Yeah.
Man, you said something really cool about she's never gotten to go to one of your games.
Never.
Man, talk about what that's gonna be like, getting to have her at one of your games for the first time. You've had a pretty long career so far.
No, I'm telling you, listen, it's still, and she's still probably a little bit iffy, but she gonna come.
We gonna make sure she good.
Because you gotta accommodate for everything.
Yes,
she gonna want it, she's not big on cold weather, especially out for hours.
Right,
so I gotta accommodate for everything. So, I'm gonna make sure it's all set up nice so she can just come in and just watch a good game and watch her grandbaby turn up.
Yeah, man. Have her pull up to an October game or earlier. Oh. That's when the weather's still okay, man. You know what I'm saying?
That'd be the problem right there. The outside, for the ladies, they don't want to sit outside.
Exactly.
I understand it.
I get it. Me too. I don't want to sit outside either, man. Let me tell you, bro. So now you're here, man. You're in Washington, and you have a guy like Dan Quinn, who is known as a defensive-minded coach. What about his style made you say, you know what, this is the right fit for me in my career?
I think, and I'm just being in the league and being a fan of the league. Dan Quinn is somebody whose name has always rung bells in the league, just from his mind as a defensive standpoint. I went to Clemson, so I played with guys like, I didn't play with them, but guys that I looked up to when I came into college was a Vic Beasley, a Grady Jarrett, and Dan was coaching them in Atlanta when they had went to the Super Bowl and obviously had that tough game against the Patriots. But so I've always been a big fan of Dan Quinn and just kind of his mindset, because I feel like especially in today's game, too many people, too many coaches, and even players, they play things too safe. And I'm really big on guys that's not afraid to go get it, take chances, and they more so focusing on winning, not so much focused on trying not to lose. So a guy like that, I can always get behind. And even, you can see it just with the guys that he's bringing in, like, the time is now. And that's what I tell people right now, like, me growing up in this area, if you know this area, like, these people are really get behind somebody that's really, trying to stand on what they, on that's really fighting for something and fighting for them. I'll never forget, I'm taking out the story.
No, you good.
The first NFL game I went to was that year, it was RG3 rookie year when they went to the playoff game.
Wow.
Yeah, but that was one of the first times where I really saw, like, and they were the Redskins back then, but where the whole organization had not just, the players, but they had the whole DMV, they had DC, Maryland, Virginia, the fans, everybody was just so excited, because it was like, oh no, we really turning things around. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
for sure.
For me to be a part of something like this, and especially in a place to where I feel like where I know I have a special connection to, man, it's major.
And man, we know you, like you said, you're not really tapped into social media like that. You're not really trying to focus on that. You're trying to focus on the play.
Yeah.
But what we do for you is we go and find the fans that want to ask you questions and talk to you. And that's something we do to end Free Agent Friday, is ask a fan question. You cool with that?
Yeah, let's do
Got
it.
a fan question from you, and this is from the Nightwing 63. Describe the excitement behind starting with a brand new organization.
Ooh.
Great question to end with.
You know what? Okay, the excitement. It's always, because it's my second time No, it's my third time, because even when you get drafted, you know what? It's always super, super nerve-wracking. It's really exciting. The hardest thing is learning everybody's name. People don't understand. People don't really know how many people work with an NFL team.
For sure.
They don't really know. And you be, oh yeah, and I'm like, God dang, like, I really like this person. I just can't remember, you know what I'm saying? So don't get me wrong, like, I'm an employee, so on a micro scale, like, it's super cool, but it just takes time. Like, I'm just really like, okay, let me just get into the swinging thing. That's my thing. But from an excitement level, man, you can't beat it. You can't beat it. Like, new jerseys, new anything, just fresh practice with new teammates. That's the best part when you get around your teammates, because people don't know, like, it's a lot of things players go through, and players get real, real close when they in the locker room with them guys. You know what I mean? Because this lifestyle brings, I would just say different circumstances that not many people, are used to, especially when you involve the money and you involve the outside, like the fame or the media or whatnot. So it's really, really cool, man. I love it. I love it. Wouldn't change it for the world.
Now, you can catch the full interview this Friday on the Commanders YouTube page. Now, big moves are being made this offseason by the Commanders front office, and we've got all the news covered for you. If you want to learn more about all of our free agent signings, head over to commanders.com, where our senior staff writer, Zach Selby, is bringing you all the news you need to know. And that's right, ladies and gentlemen, it is a lot of big news around the Commanders. We are just 3 weeks away from the NFL draft, from round 1 of the NFL draft. Now, I know everybody's focused on that number 2 pick. However, we have plenty of other picks, actually 6 in the first 100. So let's take a look. It's time for our lucky numbers, brought to you by Maryland Lottery Fast Play Games. Play fast, win fast today, but please play responsibly. Now, like I said, the Commanders hold plenty of draft stock in the first 3 rounds of this year's NFL draft. And NFL.com's Chad Reuter had some predictions for our Commanders. He has Jaden Daniels going at number 2 to be our new quarterback. And then in the second round, he has us adding some much needed depth at the offensive line and in the secondary. And you look at those third-round pick fellas. Now, these are interesting because I feel like you guys have a lot to say about these guys. So you know what? I'm going to let y'all take over and take it away. Tanner, it's on you.
Thanks, BC. Now, on a serious note, we've been talking tirelessly about the Commanders' first-round pick. Yep. Now, me and the fellas have been in the lab this week trying to see what potential second and third-round picks we have. Now, when it comes to the second round, I have 2 guys that stands out to me that's our pass catchers. You know, I like to talk about the pass catchers. That's what I do.
Yeah.
I did it pretty good, too. Now, 2 guys that stand out to me is 1, Keon Coleman. I don't have him on this board, Keon Coleman. Yeah. 2, second one would be Xavier Legette.
Yes.
I had to ask you about how to pronounce his name. Now, these 2 guys, the reason why I didn't put them on my board because I think they have potential. It might slide up in the first round. Yeah. So I'm going to dive into the guys that I'm going to highlight right now, and one in Jalen Pope.
Dog.
Jalen Pope, man, I think might have the best hands in the draft. He's a guy, he's not known for his speed. He's known for his catching ability, but he's known for being that, what you just said, a dog. Jalen is one of the guys that I'm going to talk about as my potential, I think more of a third round pick, not a second round. So that's why I'm highlighting him first. My next guy would be none other than Cade Stover.
Tight end.
Now, the thing about Cade, the thing I like about this guy here, he's not one of those tight ends where you say he's going to move the chain as far as with his speed, but he's just one of those. You know how you got that bowling ball you talk about Thanos? When you watch him play the game, he's so aggressive, he's so physical. He can block, he can catch. And when you look at some of these things that he did at the combine, let's check him out a little bit. He's showing you a little bit what he could do. Now, when you watch this film here, he's not showing you no speed. So you look at him like, all right, Tanner, why you like this guy so much?
He's doing the small things good.
Real smooth and through his drills. He had like a little gimp right there, a little giddy up in his little, his little hop. But I can tell something was going on with him. But when you watch the film from throughout the season, man, this guy just shows up in everything you need to ask for him from a tight end standpoint. So that's why he's one of the guys that potentially could be another third round pick for us. And then last but not least, on my board would be none other than Johnny Wilson.
I like that one.
I like this kid.
But this is your boy coach down at Florida State. He knows him, right?
My cousin is a Florida State coach. And when we talk about different players, potential players that's coming up in this draft, this guy name always comes up. Johnny Wilson would be a great guy that I think we can add. And one of the things when it comes to me adding these guys, especially the two receivers I'm talking about, these guys have height. These guys have size that we don't have. We have guys here that, to me, fit the same kind of stature, small guys, fast guys. We don't have a guy like this guy. Johnny Wilson, he's another guy, has great ball radius, catch radius, can catch any ball. He can do some things in the offensive game, especially in the red zone, that we don't have. So these are why these guys can be potential second and third round picks in my draft.
That was wonderful. Let me over there right now,
Who
brother.
You got there, Fred?
Great job right there, Santana Moss. And guess what? Johnny Wilson, out of all the picks you talked about, this is the one I want, because you said it. Nobody else in that wide receiver room is built like this, man.
No one else in the world looks like him. He's the tallest receiver ever measured at the combine. Longest arms.
What was his height coming in at?
I think it was 6'6" and 1/8", and his arms were 35 inches. Longest wingspan ever measured for a receiver. He is a freak of freaks.
Unbelievable. But we got to talk DBs, baby. We got to talk cover men.
Of course we got to talk DBs.
Talk to me. When the wide receiver, for every wide receiver, good wide receiver, there's a great DB. All right, and that's the way it goes. So I'm going to start with Cameron Kitchens. When I talk about this guy right here, he didn't blow anybody away at the combine. And he was ranked very high, but then it started to drop because of the combine. But I'm one of those guys, I like to turn on film. I believe what I see on the football field tells me who you really are. And when I turn that film on, Kitchens is everywhere. He does anything he needs to do. He had a running mate in James Williams who played free safety and strong safety that's moving the linebacker. Great pair there, but he stuck out the most. And when I say he stuck out the most, he can play the run. He can play the pass, but he also was one of their top communicators. I'm a communicator. You got to have one of those guys on the field that lines people up, guy that knows the plays, a guy that studies so much that he can put his other players in position to make plays also. So I love the brain trust when it comes to this guy. Now, my next one, Tyler Nubin. This guy is one of the only free safeties, strong safeties in this draft with a first-round grade. He's one of the only ones, and everybody want to say Minnesota, he must be a box safety. No. He's sideline to sideline, not as fast as you think he is, but he got what I call football speed. Put him on the football field and have fun watching this guy play. This guy can get in the box and get with the best of them. This guy can go sideline to sideline and play the middle of the field. This guy could also be what they call big nickel. He can pretty much do whatever you need him to do, and that's what you want to do. So we can watch him a little bit right here at the combine right here. Watch this guy move. Now, I want to see him fluid hip, back pedal. That's what we like to see at cornerback. Put the foot in the ground, get out of there, go make plays. If you cannot have fluent hips, you cannot play cornerback. You cannot play safety. At the end of the day, you have to be able to turn, open up, and run. Now, last but not least, TK Smith. He, to me, has been playing championship football for 4 years.
All right.
He's been around some of the best athletes that's already in the NFL. He understands the game. He understands players. He understands angles. When I watched him play, never did I catch him in a bad angle. And we know the speed that's in the SEC at wide receiver. We know the speed that's at tight end. At the end of the day, he made plays all over the field, and he also has the intellect, I think, to not only get to the NFL, but to stick in the NFL. Way to stick it to Santana Mouse right there. Thank y'all.
Now you left the loop.
Why are you so sweaty, bro?
Because it's
it's funny, man. You're talking receivers. I'm going to talk about a position that I didn't actually play. So let's go there.
That's football.
Yeah,
Talk
that's it.
to me.
So let's talk about edge rushers, man. Because I think what we talked about is that Morgan from Arizona could be the guy at that 36 spot. I think there's a lot of really talented edge rushers, maybe in that 40 pick kind of range. You were talking third round, first, second, third round guys. To me, these are all kind of middle of the second round. Maybe third, but middle of the second.
Out of there.
So Chris Braswell from Alabama, man, he's a guy that I don't think anything really jumps out at you from what he does. Yeah. But just a consistent football player, man. Plays with great power, great energy, and plays at Alabama, right? Yeah. He knows what it means to be a professional.
High level
which
football.
Is always really exciting when you get that kind of professional. And talking about toughness, right? Yeah. Dan Quinn talks about toughness all the time, and all these guys I'm going to talk about are tough football players, right? And maybe this guy's maybe the toughest, in my opinion.
He's a monster.
He's a monster. 6'5", 285 pounds, was playing defensive tackle.
Yeah.
And they moved him. They moved his position to defensive end at the Senior Bowl. Man, he is getting in this wide nine, denting face masks. And I want guys who dent face masks. I want guys that are going to be a bully. He can rush inside, he can rush outside. And when you look at Dan Quinn and what he did in Dallas, he's moving these guys all over the defensive front, finding matchups. I feel like this is a guy that speaks to toughness, speaks to scheme versatility, and that gets me fired up. And so we're going to look at some of his drills, man. Yeah. And the thing about him, not the best mover. Doesn't move like the wind necessarily, right? He's a big, heavy-handed guy. Just a big, bulky dude. I think he moves pretty well. Right? Moves all right for a big man, but that's not his game, right? Yeah. He is a powerful, explosive dude. Now, watch him hit this bag now, right? Watch him hit this bag. Watch this guy right here. This guy doesn't want to be holding this bag because this guy's about to punch a hole in this thing. Pow! Get out of here. And so I want him doing that to offensive tackles. I want him to do it to guys at Dallas, guys in New York. Make him feel you, right? Yeah. And so then the other guy I got is another guy that's a little bit of a bully. You like him, I think, quite a bit, Fred. Yes. And that's Braylon Trice. Yes, I do. So they kind of play the same. Yeah. Like heavy hands, heavy hat, guys that can be aggressive, setting edges, and be physical. Setting a culture of what it means to be a commander. So I think this guy at 40, maybe, is a good pick for the Commanders. Guys that can make a difference for your defense. And I think all those guys will be there and be able to make plays for this team.
You said something I like. You said you're looking for guys that do what to face masks?
Dent face masks.
Yes, face masks. Well, last week we celebrated the birthday of a Washington legend that did just that, dent face masks. Now let's take a look at the almighty Sean Taylor's best moments from the Burgundy and Gold.
He was somebody to be reckoned with.
Sean Taylor. Tied at 19, 6 seconds to go. Vanderjagt has it blocked. Picked up by Taylor.
They're coming after him, over the middle, it is intercepted. Sean Taylor off to the races, 15-10-5, he dives in for the touchdown.
It's time for Just Chill, brought to you by Steam Fitters.
Just chill. Steam Fitters. UA Local 602 provides the highest HVAC and mechanical piping services. Welcome to Just Chill. I'm Fred Smoot, Santana Moss. And we had the pleasure this week of celebrating our brother's birthday, Sean Taylor. And it brings back memories. Most definitely.
Great memories.
If you had a memory, what would that be right now?
I think my most fun one, I done told so many stories about Sean. I hate repeating myself about some of the things, but so many good memories. But the one that stood out the most, the only playoff win we had here in a long while. Yeah. We was able to share it together. Me, Sean, and Portis went to K Street Lounge. Yes. And it's a picture that's been circling around here the whole week leading up to his birthday of us just like celebrating, just letting it be known that hey, we moving on to the next week. That stood out because we knew it had been so long to get him to come out and party with us again. And after that playoff win, he had a very integral part in that game. I think he either scored and did something else to a player. We ain't gonna mention, but that was just Sean. But we went out and celebrated, man.
I think my epitome memory of him is I'm driving to work one day, and he's riding his bike. He like to ride his bike, and I pull up beside him in my car, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I want to work before we go to work." And that really caught me. I was like, "What is this dude doing? He can drive in a car he wants to work, and he chooses to ride a bike to work and from work." And I thought that epitomize who Sean Taylor was.
Well, when I first signed here in 05, And I'm leaving week in and week out, just wondering who BMW, a nice BMW just sitting there.
He let it just sit there.
And it was his. And they was like, well, Sean just find a way home. He either rides or he'll walk or he'll run.
So I thought that was the best memory I could like share with people. So let's sit back and let's watch some of his plays.
All right.
Yeah, I remember this play right here. The one thing about Sean is he a magnet for the ball. Once he get the ball in his hand, though, he could have been one of the best offensive players we had on the team.
Definitely had the knack for the ball. I believe this was New Year's Day when we was playing. This was the last game of the season, getting ourselves into the playoff that year in 05.
Yep. I remember this Greg Williams defense right here, most definitely. But Ryan Clark is out there. But yeah, once this dude gets his hand on the ball, I thought he could have been an equally good running back in the league or wide receiver in the league.
Well, you know, he played running back in high school. He broke all kind of records. So he just was a phenomenal athlete.
This is the play you're talking about?
Yeah.
This is the play I'll play right here. And it changed the game right here. This changed the game. And like I say, him and Aaron Reed was real good at, like, if you can't get it, I'll take it.
One hop. Let's go.
And he's gone. He's gone, most definitely. And this is what he do. Like, once the ball is in his hand, he's headed to the end zone.
Like, how special is that? Think about it. The game, the picture the film that we showed before this was the last game of the season.
Yeah.
This is the first playoff game. The very next week.
The very next
week. He had
the
same kind of momentum-changing play, man. It's just one of them things about it. I mean, he just, look, you know, we talk about the hits. We talk about some of the things, who he was, but, man, you fail to realize, man, how great he was around the ball. And when he got it, it was not just, okay, I got the ball. It was, I'm taking it to the house.
Most definitely. And this right here, I think this is what get, you know what? I believe this punter deserves everything that's about to happen. Yes! Hit him hard every time.
Hold on. This show the punter how he laying there with that leg in the air.
You gotta look at the punter face. Look at his face when he see he ain't finna stop.
Watch the leg in the air at the end.
Hey, look at that leg.
Watch the leg in the air.
Yes! You deserve everything that's happening to you.
Oh my God!
Come on in, fellas.
Oh man, fellas, man, that was awesome seeing you guys take that walk down memory lane. We know how much Sean Taylor means to you, and not just him, but his family as well. You guys are very involved in his family life. Why is that important to you guys to help extend his memory by being involved with his family?
It's all about legacy. You know, man, I think one of the things too, man, what people fail to realize, you know, this football family is the family that you know for a long time. I mean, you have your intermediate family, you have the family that you grew up with, but man, we're really brothers. We here every day with each other, so it's only right to, you know, he's not here, we still have to be that family to his loved ones that he left behind.
More like he said, family, we more military-like. All right, one brother go down, another brother steps up, and that's what we do for each other and with each other. His children, my children, his children, they're just the way it go. If we don't look after each other, nobody will.
Amen to that, and of course, rest in power to Sean Taylor. Nothing but love and prayers to his family and Commanders family. We'll see you next week.
Tonight, Dad came with. He didn't want his little sweet potato to be here without him. But now, he really wishes she was here without him. Next time, he'll just let her roll with her new entourage. And he'll only trust SeatGeek with the tickets. Because when she finds her happy place, he can find his way back to the car. The ticketing app trusted by fans. SeatGeek, so fans can fan.